Welcome to the Awakened Goddess Show, your source for inspiration, wisdom, and personal discovery. The place to learn from a diverse mix of mentors, metaphysical experts, spiritual leaders, and best-selling authors from around the world. I'm Angela Wilkinson, mindset mentor and founder of the Awakened Goddess Academy. Join me as I explore the minds of my masterful guests while they share powerful insights and easy-to-use tools you can start using right away. Now, let's tap into the energy of the Awakened Goddess and be enlightened by today's guest. Hey, I'm your host, Angela Wilkinson, and welcome to this episode of the Awakened Goddess Show. Visionary and intuitive Lisa Marie Rosati is a renowned transformation catalyst for women. She's the creatrix of the Goddess Lifestyle Plan and Sugar-Free Goddess Program, expert columnist for Aspire magazine, and co-author of the best-selling books Embracing Your Authentic Self, In Pursuit of the Divine, Success and Beauty, and Inspiration for a Woman's Soul. Lisa empowers spiritual women around the world on how to magically create an abundant life they love using her signature process called Goddess Lifestyle Alchemy. Today, Lisa and I talk about how to create a goddess lifestyle and live an abundant life. But before I talk with Lisa, are you single and ready to meet your soulmate? Join me for my upcoming webinar where I'll share my powerful 5-step love attraction formula and give you the secret to finding true love in time for the holidays. Grab your spot now at bit.ly/love-webinar. That's bit.ly/love-webinar. See you there. And now let's talk to Lisa. Let me just start off by saying there is no better person to join me on the Awakened Goddess Show than another beautiful goddess, and that is Lisa Marie. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I am really excited because as goddesses, we are just going to have so much fun playing together, talking about how to live a goddess lifestyle, creating a magical life, and all of the things that kind of just are so sensual and juicy. So I'm excited.
I am too. My favorite subjects.
Yes. So let's start off by talking about what is a goddess. That's been a concept or a word that's been kind of thrown around for the last several years. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about what that really means. So what is a goddess and what is a goddess life?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm really love that question for so many reasons, but mainly because, I have a very strong opinion about that. A goddess, to me, even though it is the in-chic word now for all women who want to be empowered, it's much deeper than that for me. It's a much deeper meaning of what is a goddess. I really believe after there's a new buzzword and those who follow the new buzzword comes out, I will still be talking about this subject because it's in my soul. It's in every cell in my body. So what is a goddess? Well, I mean it quite literally. I've been a lover of theology since I was a little girl. Why? I don't know. I was always interested in world religion, just religion and belief systems. And I've read every sacred text except for the Quran. I've yet to read that, but I've gone through the Upanishads. I've gone through the Kabbalah. I've done some Kabbalah work. I've read, of course, the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita when I was in yoga training. I mean, I have read sacred text after sacred text. And what I noticed was in, some of the more structured, I've even actually read the Torah, parts of the Torah. But religion has somehow kind of suppressed the feminine, which is what I noticed. And there are other cultures that celebrated the feminine. And of course, when you follow theology, that's how we all began worshiping the goddess because she was fertile and fruitful and supplied us with the food and nourishment we needed. So I started questioning that. And I also noticed along the way, I don't have an aha moment about it, but I noticed that all sacred texts will agree that we are quite literally progeny of the divine.
Mm-hmm.
I am the daughter of God and goddess. You are, everybody is. So therefore, I mean, I'm a goddess quite literally. If I'm the daughter of a goddess, then I am a little goddess,
yes.
or a goddess, a mortal goddess. And so is everybody. We are divine in our very nature. So that's number one. I mean it quite literally, that I am divine.
Mm-hmm.
You are divine. We are all divine. Men, women, creatures, all of us are part of the greater, the collective and the divine. Then a goddess, quite simply to me, on more of a mundane level, is a woman who is constantly on the green grass edges of becoming her most powerful and healthy self, whatever that looks like for her. There's no comparison. It's about the inner work. It's about showing up to her life powerfully, nourished, healthy, body, mind, and spirit health.
I love that.
That's it in a nutshell.
No, but that's so rich. I am like you. I've been using the goddess term. I started with the goddess next door, like probably 10 years ago. And then it was like, yeah, this whole wave of the goddess term. Yeah. And so I love how you define it. I mean, that going back to that we're all gods or goddesses, we're from the divine. We're just all coming together in that powerful essence, that energy, and to be able to express that however it comes through each of us. I mean, that is like, yes. That's what it's all about, right?
So juicy, right? Yeah, it is very juicy. And we're human expressions of the divine. That's what we are. We're a creature. We humans are creatures, just like everything else that dwells on the earthly plane, on the physical plane. So, for me, when a woman, because I work predominantly with women, but this happens with men too, when you have the realization that you are holy and sacred in your very nature, the way you hold yourself, the way you behave in the world, the way you treat your body temple, because this is a temple. It houses your soul, this body. When you make that connection, that light switch flips, you completely change the way that you live your life. And in that energy is how everything around you starts transforming. It starts with first the realization inside. And then, of course, your life, whatever you're experiencing, is a mirror to what is your inner belief.
Yeah, one of the things, what do they say? You teach what you need to learn most.
Oh, yes.
Right? So I'm wondering if you had a similar experience that I had, where I kind of fell into the idea that doing it the masculine way, with the male energy, the action-oriented, the doing, was the better way to be successful and get ahead and all of that. Have you had that experience, or what have you seen?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Yes.
I live it, girl.
I love it. I'm going to piggyback on that, actually. I'm going to say that we're all in the transformational field, all that we do. And usually coaches, mentors, whoever is helping you facilitate a transformation in your life, I believe we teach what we transcended in ourselves. And I believe that makes us very efficient at what we do, because the terminology I use is that I hold the lantern for my clients. I like the way, because I've been down, through that cave, that darkness, through the firewalk, so to speak. And you just hold the lantern for your client or your community to walk behind you, and you illuminate the path for them. Oh my gosh, did I suffer? Well, first of all, I'm a type A personality. I think you can tell that. I have to act. My mother used to say to me as a child, Lisa, do you ever shut off your brain? The answer is no. I had to actually train myself to shut off my brain. So I am extremely passionate. I am a Virgo, a very true Virgo. Everything is detail oriented. Everything I do, I wanted to roll out the very best, the most beautiful, the perfection paralysis that can come with that. And when you have perfection paralysis, you can have, overthinking and not act. So there's a difference between the doing and also not honoring the fact that we do need masculine energy. It's about balance for me. I can shift into my masculine very, very simple. I could stay in my masculine, but this is what happens. I get sick. I get burnt out. I get, dare I say, bitchy and scrunched up, like nasty, because it's not the way a woman is supposed to operate all the time. We burn out and we get very discontented. Can we do it? Yes. So what I teach is having balance between masculine and feminine, having the flow and then having the aligned action to move your life forward. When you're in one energy too much, actually, nothing happens. You're either, luxuriating and being all creative and stuff and just never actually bringing it to fruition, which is this gorgeous feminine energy of creation. You need that aligned action to actually bring it and birth it. So one or the other, too much of it can tend to keep you in a place where you're not moving forward.
Yeah, so I imagine that's one reason why women are not experiencing or they're not embodying a goddess life. So what are some other things that keep women from having that?
Well, we're hardwired because there's a divine part to us. And then there's, of course, a hardwired DNA part to us. And we are wired to nurture and we are wired to give to others that we love before ourselves. And, this was all wonderful when we were, cave women and cave men or even up to about 150 years ago, 100 years ago, when women stayed home and their role was very divine. They took care of the family. There's a saying, it takes a village to raise a child. I have 3 children. I'm going to tell you what, I need a village. I really do. I'll speak to that. I mean, you can make yourself bananas and burn yourself out, get yourself sick trying to raise 3 children and juggle career. And this is the paradigm today. And I'm not complaining. I love women's empowerment. I live it. I teach it. I absolutely am so thankful that I was born now with women being able to create and have it all. And of course, central air conditioning, because that's really, I have to have that as well. I would have not been good back in the heat without that. And also nursing babies. Believe it or not, I would have had a wet nurse too, probably. So all of these wonderful things and female, all these great technologies. But here we are. And we want to have the great love. We want to have the fit and nourished body. We want to have a happy, healthy family life. We want it all. And then somehow in the attempt to want it all, we push ourselves too far and we give too much. We don't prioritize ourselves because we have that DNA piece that says, oh no, my children's needs have to come first. So our self-care just ticks down that to-do list until we go, how did I end up here? I haven't had a pedicure in 7 months. Yeah. So I'm running to soccer games. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm taking care of my husband. I'm taking care of my sick and elderly parents. Whatever it looks like. There's a million different scenarios. But the thing is, where do we fit in? And the minute that we try to make ourselves a priority until we have the mindset aligned, there's congruence, we feel selfish. One of those trigger words for women. We're being so selfish.
Yes. How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you go take time for
yourself?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And then we go, no. I haven't seen my children all week. I worked, and you know what? I gotta go to that soccer game. Instead of, saying, darling, I love you. I need to go have a massage. I need it for my wellness. What can we do? And that's one of the things I teach my community. This is a great tool. If you are a busy working mother and you have children, instead of doing nothing for yourself, I'm going to tell you what the truth is. Your children don't care if you're on the soccer field or you're just with them without any distraction. doing something that they love. So for me, having 3 children, I sometimes was not available. Tonight, my son has a football game. I have to teach something. So I said to him, last night, he says, I have a football game tomorrow. I said, I have a class to teach. I said, listen to me. I said, I'm going to miss this one. I said, but let me ask you something. What do you want to do for a couple of hours, just me and you on Saturday? Anything you want. It's about your presence and you're there. You're there in the present moment with them, that time, that connection. It's not the soccer game.
Mm-hmm. Well, and when you have so many things you try to focus on, you're not being efficient or present with any of those things.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
Yeah.
Very good point. And I got to tell you, that was something I've recently put a boundary around. Women also burn out because they don't have proper boundaries. Mm-hmm. And even, it's like heal or heal thyself with me sometimes. I go, ooh. For me now, the cosmos, they start to give you hints. Like my husband or my kids would be like, Ma, you're on the phone again? Ma, you're on the phone? Ma, you're on social media again? And those were like the little, and I was like, yeah, I guess I got to do something. And then all of a sudden I realized, I don't have proper boundaries around this for me. Mm-hmm. So now I'm with my family, the phone, sometimes I don't even take it out with me. And you know what? Whatever's going to be is going to be. I'll deal with it when I get home. So it's these little symbolic, these little nudges that the universe is trying to come through and say, Lisa, clean up your boundary there. Mm-hmm. Make your family the priority when you're with them. Yeah. Because then when I'm working, they're really cool with it because they've had my full attention. It's when I'm half in and half out, like you were just mentioning, and it was something that it was recent. I just noticed it and I cleaned that right up, that boundary. True.
Yeah, because you're not being in integrity with you, your children, or whoever it is that you're engaging with.
That's right. And so that's very, very important. For me, as a magical mentor, there are just really, there's only a few words, I think. And if you can actually embody this one word, believe it or not, I think that you have the life of your dreams. And it's a verb. To me, it's a verb. It's an action word. But the word that I only worry about day in and day out is congruence. Mm. That's the only word I worry about, because when my actions and my thoughts are in alignment with how I feel inside, my life flows with divine grace. And my life is always like I'm going down with the stream, as opposed to, trying to paddle up the river. Mm-hmm. So whenever I'm feeling strife or struggle or sadness, I say, where am I not congruent here? What am I not willing to do?
So let's, what would be a specific example?
So a specific example that's really good. I kind of just talk very honestly, and this is an intimate thing as far as my relationship with my husband. Let's just say I'm married to like a caveman. I call him a caveman because he really is. It's like he's shaved, he's fully tattooed, he's a martial artist and a former SWAT officer, Marine. He's like a real caveman, and he adores me. I know it, but sometimes he's just not romantic at all. Mm-hmm. And I'll get disgruntled. Mm-hmm. I'll start to focus on what he's not doing instead of all the great things he does bring to our lives, bring to our relationship, the times that he is sweet or that could be construed as romance. So whenever I'm getting all like, you're not romantic, and I could get like that. I could get very like that. And I realize I will catch myself after a while. Believe me, I'm not that. I'll get in that place, and then I'm like, this doesn't feel good, mm-hmm. And I'll look and I'll say, Lisa, what am I not willing to do? Well, I'm not willing to look at what he does bring to our lives, to our relationship. I'm only looking at the lack. I'm not looking at the beauty. And in that moment, everything shifts energetically. One moment, mm-hmm. and it's congruent again.
Yeah. And how many times do we do that? We find the fault. We find what's missing. We find what's out of place. I mean, we're just naturally kind of wired.
Naturally, yes. I think it's, who knows? It's cultural. It's the way people operate. Whatever it is, people's natural you need to train yourself to look at what you have and not what you don't. I don't know if it's physiological. I don't know if it's actually wired into us to do that. But I do think that most people look at lack and what we're missing in our lives, what the relationship is not providing for us instead of what is, how our children are misbehaving as opposed to all the adorable things they do here and there. You know what I mean? It's like, can we look at the glass half full? It almost sounds almost like too saccharine. Oh, the glass is half full. Blah, blah, blah. The truth is, you're much happier when you're looking at what is actually in flow. And in law of attraction, magically speaking, universal law, what you look at and what you focus on grows. You attract what you are vibrating. So when I'm in that place of you don't give me, I'm not getting, what do you think I'm going to get more of? More of that lack. More, and I'll tell you, my energy is ucky and repelling, and it makes my husband act even more atrociously. It just is this like horrible spiral downward. It's terrible.
Yeah. Well, because it's kind of like that, who's going to be nice first?
Yeah. Well, usually, you're so right. And boy, there's a part of me, I'm a little bit of a warrior. I've got that warrior archetype, so I could be like, oh yeah? Do you think that you're going to be like that? Well, watch what I can do now. And then I go, oh, this feels awful. What do I need to be willing to do? What do I need to look at and stop? What do I need to stop looking at? And what do I need to look at? And, and because I'm such, I used to, and I just want to bring up, I'm being called to say, years ago when I was all rebellious against organized religion, I was like, oh, and Jesus said, if somebody slaps this cheek, turn the other one. Why? So they could slap that cheek too? That was such spiritual ignorance on my part. What I think he really meant, my interpretation now is, don't look at what you don't like. Turn the cheek and look at what's beautiful in your life. Put your attention there. It's such a powerful, beautiful message, and I love it. And I was like, oh boy, I was so immature spiritually immature. You come into all these places where you see the wisdom in the interpretation. So now when I'm finding myself really hooked on something that's very low vibrational, I intellectually know, turn the cheek, look to what, and I'll actually even use masculine aligned strategies. I'll take out a pen and paper and write down every awesome thing I can think about my husband. It raises your vibration in the process. My kids, I have teens, I have grown. My teens right now, they could make you crazy. So I'll just say, well, let me write down some really wonderful things. Or I have a memory box. I'll open the memory box and it's every card they ever handmade, because they say sometimes not nice things and in not nice ways now. So I'll go through and I'll look. When he was 5, he said, I have the best mommy in the world, and it'll raise my these are just strategies to get you out of your own way.
Yeah. So important. So important to have those tools, because we can get caught up in the drama. And there's sometimes that there's a part of us that enjoys the drama.
You're so right. And thank you for saying that. I say that all the time. Sometimes I even enjoy the drama until I wake up and go, what? Whenever my life is in flux, it'll hit me after a little while. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
But these are old habits,
That's
right? Old patterns.
Well, it's how our brain is wired. It's like you're reinforcing an old pattern. And so you're getting a boost of adrenaline or, epinephrine or whatever happens to be the chemical. And so that's why we seek it or go after it. It's not that we consciously like it or want it, but I don't know. I know I've been in an argument before where it's like I find myself giggling because it's like, oh, it's like my evil twin.
It's the shadow. It's your shadow self. And I think that's awesome. And that's something I work through with my sisterhood. I have a virtual sisterhood. And right now, when we're recording, it is time for shadow work, which is an intricate and essential part of empowerment for women. Women want to suppress and hide their shadow self. And let me tell you something. So did I. So do women naturally. And basically, your shadow self is anything that you deem is socially unacceptable or you're ashamed of in some way, secrets, whatever. These are those are our shadows. And we bad habits, maybe it's something we're interested in, a fetish, things we don't want anybody to know about ourselves, and we hide them and we suppress them. Problem with with hiding your shadow is she don't like being shoved down all the time. And what happens is when we're out, we drink a little too much, or we get in a bad argument, the horns come out and your shadow just you have no control. She just like, wah! And she could do some serious damage to your life experience. She can implode it in a moment. So shadow work is taking a look at all the parts of ourselves that we repress, that we're ashamed of, that we hide from the world, the mask we wear behind the mask. And then also integrating, falling in love with her, because part of truly being a goddess is loving your warts and your beauty equally.
Yeah, I mean, look at Goddess Kali. I mean, she is a badass.
She is, and I love her. She's one of my matron goddesses. I love Kali, and most people are frightened of her, as you know, and don't like her because she's got the blood and the head's hanging and the tongue out and the black thing. Just like very crazy looking. But you know what? She creates, she ends things, and then that, of course, creates healthy space for something new and more beautiful to come in. It's something beautiful about endings. Some things need to end. Yeah. Yep. And sometimes it gets messy and you have to chop some heads off. And stomp your lover to death. No, I'm just kidding. But that's just your mythology.
That would be the shadow side. So let's talk about archetypes. Because I understand that you, like you said, you love helping women create like a magical life. And how does working with the elemental forces and archetypes really help power up manifestation?
So it's everything. It's everything. Because when you tap into those two things, the elemental forces, the elements, cardinal elements, which is air, fire, water, earth, and spirit. So when you tap into those archetypes and work with those elements, and then also with other archetypes, which are basically the way that people route power. All right, so Kali has an archetype. We just described her. She comes in, she stomps everything. She destroys everything. So sometimes those energies are necessary, and we are conduits. So we can just channel them. When you live magically, such as myself, at any given moment, I can channel an archetype, whatever I need, to facilitate whatever change or whatever thing I need in that moment. To make it less magical and more on the mundane level, you introduce me to one mother who, if their child is threatened in any way, shape, or form, that she doesn't become fierce in 1 second. Yeah. That's because that's the mama bear, or it's the warrior goddess, the dark goddess, whatever you channel, it happens in 1 second flat. The most meek, peaceful, loving woman who would never hurt a fly will become a raging, badass if her child is even a hair might get hit, harmed on it. So that is the actual way that archetypes work. And when you learn the different aspects or the characteristics of archetypes and what they look like, you can channel them at will.
Love that. So it's just tapping into that energy and calling in that archetype or the goddess that you want to embody.
That's right.
How fun is that?
Yeah, and it's about learning their mythology, because goddesses, okay, we all know that they're not mortal and they weren't real, but their patterns, their behaviors are very individual. And of course, the different pantheons, whether it's the Egyptian pantheon or the Celts or the Greeks or whatever gods or goddesses you want to study, they all have their mythology. And if you look at their characteristic traits, you can actually channel those characteristics through you to propel your life in the direction you want to go. When I need more wisdom and strategy, I will light a candle and I'll call on Athena. I'm like, Athena, I need your help right now, because I know she's the goddess of strategy and wisdom. So, just channel her. I ask for her assistance. Help me. When I need more compassion, because I will be honest, I'm not the most compassionate person sometimes. Only when it comes to me. Everybody needs compassion for Lisa. But, I'm not always the quickest to give it. So I will call on Kuan Yin, or I will call on the Blessed Mother, please, just Just show me. I want so much to be compassionate here. Help me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about asking for assistance from the proper deity to channel their qualities, characteristics, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that for, we'll just, in quotes, the average woman, we can just like go about our day and not have to know exactly what goddess does what. It's like, I think it's more about just allowing yourself to see what feels right, who you feel called to call on. And it's more of that intention, and you'll bring that through whatever it is you need. And it's not, you don't have to know all the details.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's the thing. We're intuitive creatures by nature, men and women, believe it or not. But women, we have abandoned our feelings to the thinking model.
Yeah.
We try to think our way through things. And that is actually leaving our brilliance on the table. Because our true brilliance is feeling. How does this feel? How does that feel? And we override how we feel. It's like we will second guess it shows up as second guessing.
Mm-hmm.
The waffling.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I work with women every day. The waffling, I'm like, stop waffling. Just make a decision. I don't care what it is, but stop waffling. You know, we're wafflers because we're like, oh, I hope I'm making the right decision there. You know what? I'm a big lover of course correcting. I make a decision. I take a leap. I'm midair. I'm like, oh crap. And I got to course correct. And I'm here to speak about it. It's okay. Mm-hmm. Most decisions aren't life and death. Stop waffling. Feel it.
Yep.
Feel it. There's a difference between expansive scared and contracting scared. There's a feeling like somebody wants me to write in that book. I could be a bestseller. That's happened to me. I have an invitation to write in a book. I've never written a thing besides a blog post in my life. Oh my gosh, that's too big for me. But that was an expansive scared. And then there's, of course, ooh, that dark alley looks really creepy. Maybe I shouldn't walk down there. Oh, Lisa, stop being ridiculous. And walks down it. You know, that's a scary feeling. So, and it's contracting. Mm-hmm. So things that feel scary, that's usually the tingles are, it's a little big. It's big for me right now, but this is, it's expanding who I am.
Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely tap into the difference. So let's go back to congruence. So let's just talk about manifesting and say we have an idea of what we want, right? So how do we know if we're in congruence with that thing, whether it's a particular relationship or person or a certain amount of money or whatever it happens to be?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Well, how you would know that you're congruent with that is that it would start to manifest. You'd actually see signs of land, so to speak. You'd see it start to happen. It would feel effortless as opposed to, and effortless in a fact that it doesn't feel like inner turmoil. What I will tell you is when we want something really, really bad, again, it's just my observation, the world according to Lisa, but I have noticed that whenever I want something really bad, the universe will throw every obstacle in my way to see how high I will jump, how bad I really want it. That doesn't mean trying to fit a square into a circle. That doesn't mean that. What that means is I will get obstacles. And usually those obstacles will hit my fear button. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to do that. I got to find somebody to do this for me. I need help. You know, all of those little things like jump. I really want this. And then just continuing to move forward. But it will feel, and I use that word often, it will feel right. It'll feel like, all right, that's an obstacle. That's not taking me out. And sometimes with manifestation, you take a little step back. And again, it's all about the universe really, I think, testing to see how much do you want this? How important is this for you? You know, the minute that you become congruent, everything doesn't just happen all around you. I have to work hard for the things I want. However, every time there's a setback, my immediate question is, what's the learning here? Mm-hmm. There is no, maybe I'll lick my wound for like 5 minutes. I'll allow myself, like, poor me. I can't believe this happened to me. But then it's like, that does nothing. It doesn't help me at all. And then I realized, what is the learning? Something's trying to come through here. And then I try to, and I might light a candle and pray, show me. What do I need to know here? Why isn't this easier? Just show me. And I'm willing to hear it. It's always because it's something I'm not willing to do, which is maybe forgive somebody, which is do a video, because I can't stand those. It might be a lot of different things that I don't want to do, but it's like this non-willingness, and then I have to say, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah, how often do we hear the message and then we're like, no, it's got to be something else.
Because we want it to be something else, something easier. Yeah. Something we're not so stretched in doing. You know what I mean? It's like, getting where you want to get in life, having a magnificent life experience takes effort. It's not hard work, but it takes you checking in. And I have a tool. It's called the Goddess Sphere of Personal Perspective. There are 12 key areas of a life that I've determined. There are 12 key areas of a life. And, just finances is one of them. Purpose and passion is one of them. Intimate relationships is one. Your environment is another one. How you dress and how you express your personal style is another one. And there's 12. And here's the thing. We're holistic creatures. If one of those areas are not working at all and you're not congruent to who you really are and what your desires are for that area, it affects all the other ones. So it takes work. I do my own Goddess Sphere of Personal Perspective because I know then I go, ooh, I got to work better on my health and wellness, or ooh, I gotta clean up my spending. I'm always looking so that we have flow.
Okay, I love that. And to bring up the shadow, the devil's advocate, this idea of creating balance. So how it sounds like a way we could self-sabotage is to overcomplicate it and make it hard or make it overwhelming. My question is how do we keep this simple? So, we're looking at these 12 areas and don't feel like we have a 10-page to-do list to, go through our morning routine, get our exercise in, eat right, juice, whatever it happens to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, the languaging I use with everything is look through a magical lens. So when I look through a magical lens, I look to symbolic. It's symbolic. Magical lens is symbolism because the divine doesn't speak literally. The divine speaks through symbolism. That's what I've discovered. And I believe that, again, this is my interview with you. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this, how I look at things. Yeah. The divine speaks symbolically. So what is the bigger picture here? So a lot of times you need to drift up and take a bird's eye view of something because when you're so close, it could feel like your ego is involved and everything. You got to kind of drift up to where the divine is and look down on your life. But there is a tool I use for that to actually keep everything in balance, like you said. It's 3 Ds. Do it, delegate it, ditch it. And if I feel like I can't get everything done that I need to get done, that's keeping me from my goal, if my goal is better wellness, what do I need to do? What do I need to delegate in my life so it makes time for me to do what I need to do? And what do I need to ditch? Because what's really not important, that's the static electricity and the drama and the bull crap that we love to my girlfriend is going through a breakup. I have to make it, I have to call her 17 times and take her out to dinner. And, no. Like, I got to do my stuff. I'm not an uncaring person. It's just that we all have to take care of our own house, And of course I'm here, but I don't drop everything and run. And the thing is that my intention is that my family and my loved ones, whoever I love, is always number one. But sometimes if everything is kind of not in an emergency state, my attention goes to what it needs to go to. They're always my intention, but my attention has to be on me, my business, my goals.
So, from your experience and working with a lot of women on creating this goddess life, like what percentage would you say would be good to be focusing on embodying the goddess and um, relaxing and enjoying and doing the feminine aspects versus the action and the doing?
Mm-hmm. I think they go hand in hand. How I look at it, so if I had to give a percentage, I'd say 50-50, because that's the most balanced you can get if you look at 100% as the whole. However, I like to look at masculine and feminine. I'm big into metaphors, so they kind of help me explain, understand things a little bit more. I wrap my head around things a little bit more that way. But if you want to imagine the masculine and the feminine as a man and woman dancing. So if they're both trying to lead and be like the dominant one in that moment, it's just going to be an ugly dance that's full of ungraceful moves. Mm-hmm. It's going to feel really hard.
Stepping on toes and
stepping on toes and just pushing each other around. But if they can get in a balance, the dance becomes very graceful and beautiful. And there's flow. And it just looks effortless, doesn't it? When you watch a good set of a man and a woman dance or a partner's dance. Well, we'll use man and woman. It has to be for masculine and feminine. But that's really how I look at it. And when I'm in a moment or in a day, or sometimes it'll just hit me like, oh, I'll say, am I just avoiding right now? Am I just on Facebook too long? Like, what am I doing? Am I not being aligned here? And then there are times when I'm like, oh my God, my eyes are burning. It's 10:15 at night. Enough. Shut it down. So it's always checking in. Because I think it's always something we have to keep boundaries around. But the goal is to have this beautiful, effortless dance of masculine and feminine where our life flows.
What about your daily practice?
I think it's of the utmost importance, however it speaks to you. Goddess Lifestyle Plan, my personal beliefs are all paths lead to one. And it doesn't matter who you speak to, as long as you believe in something bigger than yourself and you have a communication, some sort of line of communication open, a dialogue with your creator, whoever that is. How it shows up for me, I will tell you that after all of these years, I'm not a big meditator. I can meditate a lot. I love guided meditation, but for me, I really look at my life as a sacred ceremony. Each day, even the mundane, I have a different mindset about it. Everything I do is holy. Even my work is sacred and holy. I try to make my interactions with everybody I have sacred and holy in that place of it being of the highest vibration with the highest intention. I live a sacred life. Of course, I have moments, like everybody. I'm human. I'm having a human experience, as we all are. So for me, my sacred practice looks like that I will get up, and this was something that was very important for me, gaining balance in my life, because I could work myself too. I love my work so much, and I'm a type A, so I could just work myself into like collapse on the floor. My eyes are like burning like sandpaper. So that's not at all healthy for me.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh my God, my eyes. I've like literally had where my eyes was screaming at me and I'm just ignoring. And every time I blink, it felt like sandpaper. I'm like, what am I doing? This is insanity.
I at some point, I thought I should create a Workaholics Anonymous program.
But isn't it? I love my work so much. It doesn't feel like work. So I could just spend every minute. It's anything, even good things too much is a good too much,
Yes.
So, my mentor at the time, she said, open your day with an invocation and a candle lighting in your office, and close your day with an invocation and power down. And I bookend my days. Yeah. I start in the morning. I come in. I have my same routine every morning. It's a ritual. I do my bathroom stop and I walk 20 feet to my office. I turn on my Himalayan salt lamp, which is going behind me. I turn on my diffuser. I go over to my altar. I light a candle, and my prayer could be elaborate some days. Most days it's show me, guide my thoughts, guide my words, guide my actions to be of the highest service in this world. And so it is. Mm-hmm. That's it. Just show me, use me, whatever that looks like today. And sometimes I'll pray for others. Sometimes I'll throw in one for myself. But here's the thing. I think most people, because they're so not in the moment and they don't create their life in their vision, whenever they pray, it's for something they need. So I think it's very important to pray every day, pray for others, pray for the greater good of this world, and then, of course, pray for yourself as well if you need something. And asking it is given. That is my experience. I ask for financial miracles sometimes. I do. Sometimes I need them in my business, and they happen every time.
Love that. Just starts raining money.
It does, because I don't ask all the time for me. I'm not like one of those people, please help me. It's like, I pray every day, and it's sometimes it's not about me. Sometimes it's mostly for others, and every day it's just show me, use me as a tool. I'm here to be of service to you, whatever that looks like.
Mm-hmm. And I love how simple that is. It's like just finding those small things that you can do that it's like an anchor for your body, for your it's like bringing grounding to your day. It's like you start.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. And because I am that animal workaholic that we've discussed, I need to close my day like that. I have to give myself permission. That's it. Like the divine says, enough is enough. I've told the divine that I'm done for the day, and now I can stop.
Yeah.
And it's these wonderful, but what happens is it makes my work a ritual. It makes my day a ceremony. And there's something vibrational about that that's so beautiful that I didn't feel the same way before. And it is a wonderful practice. It's just, a lot of people say, oh, I can't meditate. It's a whole big thing. I can't. No, it's not even 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just that intention.
Yeah. And like you said earlier, it's about that checking in with yourself. You're checking in with your body, mind, and spirit and source. So just bringing it through.
And setting an intention for your day. If there's any tool for manifesting your dream goddess life, it is setting an intention for your day. Because there's an old saying, and I paraphrase, I might be getting it right, I don't know, but no wind is favorable to a sailor without a direction. Like, it's a destination, rather. No wind is favorable to a sailor without a destination. So what that basically means is if you don't know exactly where you want to go, what your intention is, where you want to end up, how can you get there? You're just going to blow. No wind would be favorable. You're just going to blow all over.
Yeah.
And you got to know that's what I want. And this is the thing. Years ago, I decided sometimes hit midday, I'm like, no, I don't want that anymore. This is my new destination. Course correct.
Yep.
I give myself permission.
Yeah. It's out of alignment now.
Yeah, that's right. This morning it was perfect, and now it's not. And now, you know what? It's my prerogative.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you got to do what works for you and go. And that's what, when you're really in the flow, it's about letting go of those things that, things can change in a moment. So it's allowing that to go when it needs to go.
And the shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
I mean, how much, even when things happen unfair to me, I could get stuck in that for a couple minutes, but I've seen women, my goodness, they stuck for years. I can't believe that. Oh my gosh, please, let's move forward. It's done. Now, I'm a solutions gal, so the shoulda, coulda, woulda. Let that go. That's a waste of energy. The minute that the shit hits the fan in your life, put your attention to a solution. Mm-hmm. Stop dwelling on what had happened because it's done. It's done. Right. And, women dilute their personal power. One of the things I'm very good at is noticing that when a woman is diluting her personal power, and how that looks like is women dilute their power by, first of all, leaving part of their soul in the past via regret. Mm-hmm. And then they leave part of their soul in the future via worry. And what that does is one foot's in the past, one foot's in the future, and that dilutes our personal power today. I help women, or I teach women how to empower them to call back their soul, to hear, today. What happened, happened. What might happen? Oh, please. 99.9% of things I've ever worried about in my life never actually came to pass.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
It was a waste of time. Call your soul back to the present moment. This is all we have.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any last tips that you would like to share with the listeners? I know. It's like,
well, we've covered a lot. We have covered a whole lot. I would say start a personal practice, a sacred practice of something, however it speaks to you. Magical living is an art. So create your art in your vision, whatever it looks like for you. Start to notice the magic around you, because there is magic around you all the time. You're always walking with the divine. And definitely move yourself up the to-do list and use my 3Ds. Do it, delegate it, ditch it, and start to look at through that lens at each area of your life and each task that comes up. Mm-hmm. And don't do anything out of guilt or shoulda, coulda, wouldas, because do things because you want to with all your heart, and say no or delegate the stuff that's meh.
Yeah, because as you said, if it's not congruent, then you're going to just slow down your process to manifesting whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest.
150%. And you know what else? I've noticed that when I showed up out of the should-haves and the obligation feeling, mm-hmm. I kind of had a low vibration about it. I was like, I don't really want to be here, but I'm here. Hi, Now I say no when something doesn't serve me. I don't do it because I should or I'm obligated. I do things, and when I show up, I'm like, hi, I'm here. You know what I mean? And you do the person that you're doing the thing for, or the people you're doing it with, you do them a service when you show up in that vibration, as opposed to the obligatory vibration. And then what do you really, you don't serve the person and you don't, or the cause, and you don't mm-hmm. serve yourself. It's just a lose-lose. That's right. It's just a waste of energy, literally. Literally, say yes to what makes you. This is my one last strategy. So there was something I ditched long ago, which was saying yes on the spot, unless my body went, oh my God, yes, I want to do that so bad. Like when I get that vibe, that energy, that frequency, I say yes right away. Yeah. Most things do not have that frequency. So what I did was I created this. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. I say, wow, that sounds interesting. Let me check my calendar and I'll get back to you. Mm-hmm. I never say yes on the spot, ever. I give myself just that little time. Like, yep. It's just something I trained myself to do, because it gives me that little bit of space to really think about strategically, do I want to do this? Why am I doing this? What's the motivator? Blah, blah, blah. And just, you know what? That sounds really interesting. Let me check my calendar and I'll get back to you. Just give yourself a few minutes. Yeah. And I think time. Yeah, that's such a powerful tip for especially us ladies. Yes. Because we have gotten into that guilt consciousness about, I don't, I want to be nice or do the right thing. Yes. But it doesn't serve. It doesn't serve. And sometimes most times we're usually spreading ourselves too thin. So that's a really good buffer. It's a buffer strategy. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, I love it. So you have a really, really cool gift to share with the ladies. So tell us about it. All right. Well, I'm a buffet kind of girl. And it's interesting because when you have these online business models, you're supposed to have a free gift. And I was like, I don't have just one thing I want to give. So I like when I'm happiest when I go to a buffet dinner, because I could have a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I could choose, and I don't have to make one hard decision about a meal. So I decided I'm going to give out a little bit of everything that I do, a little taste of everything. There's a meditation, and I call it the Magical Goddess swag bag, and it has a meditation. It has my Design Your Goddess Life Planner, which is an actual book that you will work your way through, because women, we need to know what makes us feel juicy so that we could start to infuse our life with those ingredients, whatever they are. Then I created this brand with the rebrand I did about a year and a half ago. I created how to create sacred space and activate your life magic. So there's this wonderful report on how to create sacred space in your home, anywhere you are. And then what else? The manifesto. It's just a whole swag, a downloadable swag, and I hope you enjoy it.
Yes. It feels like you're going to the Oscars or something. You have your little swag bag full of all these goodies.
Awesome.
So how can people connect with you?
I am all over social media, as I mentioned during the interview. I have to get my hand slapped by my family. But no, I've gotten way better at that. I'm on social media. You can find me, Goddess Lifestyle Plan or Lisa Marie Rosati. I'm on pretty much every social media platform. And connect with me. I love to talk with my community. I love to have conversations. And definitely, if you're on Facebook, like the Goddess Lifestyle Plan community page, talk to me. Have a conversation. Let's talk some goddess and magic.
That's right. Get on there and chit-chat and get all the goods. Awesome. Well, thank you, Lisa, for joining me today. This was a phenomenal discussion, and I had so much fun.
Oh, me too. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for having me.
And now for you, my gorgeous goddess. Was there something Lisa or I shared that resonated with you? If so, I'd love to hear about it. You can leave us a comment on today's show page at theawakenedgoddess.com. So get yourself over there and leave a comment right now. Did you enjoy this episode? If so, subscribe to the show and please share it with your friends. And if you want even more incredible resources, join the Awakened Goddess community to get Lisa's magical goddess lifestyle swag bag and bonus content from the show. And until next time, goodbye! Thank you for listening to this episode of the Awakened Goddess Show. I hope you enjoyed today's guest and got something you can start using in your life right away. For more spiritual insights and to listen to more episodes, subscribe to The Awakened Goddess Show at theawakenedgoddess.com and discover wisdom that'll change your life.